Shanghai is in decline. It is no longer the dazzling pearl of the Orient lit up through the night, no longer the symbol of wealth, opportunity, and relentless crowds. Today, when you step onto avenues that were once packed shoulder to shoulder, you find emptiness. Emptiness on the sidewalks. Emptiness inside shopping malls. Emptiness in the eyes of those who remain. Huaihai Road, the commercial heart of the city, now has afternoons so quiet you can hear the wind slipping between the glass towers. Nanjing Road, once a street that never slept, now sees 6 p.m. evenings when shops sit closed, lights dim, employees leaning against counters waiting for customers who never arrive. Xintiandi, once fully booked every weekend night, now has only a scattering of tables occupied, with more empty chairs than people. This is not a temporary lull, but it is a sign of a deep and widening downturn. On Chinese social media, videos of ghost city scenes in Shanghai are increasing by the day. Without planning it, residents keep asking the same question. Where did everyone go? Commercial districts once crowded with tourists, office workers, students, and families now feel like the aftermath of a storm. But there was no storm, only a quiet contraction of the economy. It is not just Huaihai Road or Nanjing Road. In Shujiahui, once a source of pride for residents of Shuhui, long-standing malls like Pacific and Liu Bai have closed one after another. Buildings that carried more than 20 years of memories could not survive. Meilong Town on Nanjing West Road, once a symbol of high-end consumption, has also gone dark. Places tied to the memories of a generation of Shanghainese are disappearing silently. While many local residents share the same feeling, Shanghai is no longer Shanghai. The decline is not limited to storefronts. It runs deeper into offices, real estate, and foreign investment. Shanghai thrived on foreign capital. For many years, it was China's financial gateway, where money from the United States and the West flowed in. But as international relations deteriorated, as trade wars erupted, and as global supply chains shifted, Shanghai took the hit directly. Since 2018, factories and businesses have begun to leave. Southeast Asia has become the new destination. Corporations that once headquartered in Pudong and regarded Lujiazui as a symbol of financial power have quietly downsized or withdrawn. By 2023, foreign capital inflows into China had plunged sharply, and much of that fall landed on Shanghai. While Pudong, once a symbol of unstoppable growth, now reflects stagnation. Office vacancy rates tell the blunt truth. In January 2025, Shanghai's office vacancy rate approached 20%. In Xintiandi, the rate doubled within a single year. In North Lujiazui, more than half of office space has no tenants. Over 50% of buildings are lit at night with no employees inside. This is no longer a warning sign. It is a danger zone. Rents have fallen sharply. Building owners are forced to sell at a discount. Office floors that were once impossible to buy even with money are now listed in large numbers. Icons such as the Lujiazui Trio, once the pride of Chinese finance, now appear frequently on trading platforms. Many sellers, few buyers. Prices drop, yet liquidity is nearly frozen. The residential property market is no better. There was a time when buying a new home in Shanghai required entering a lottery. To qualify for the lottery, buyers had to put down millions of yuan, just as a deposit for the right to purchase. Developers would then check your bank account to ensure you had more than 10 million yuan available for payment. That was once the market standard. Now, new homes are launched below cost. No one lines up, no one competes for quotas, no one feels urgency. In some central areas, prices have fallen by as much as 30% from their peak. Yet even at discounted prices, buyers hesitate. Supply is too abundant. Expectations of further price declines persist. Confidence has weakened. In suburban areas, the situation is even bleaker. Listings sit for months without transactions. The market has clearly shifted to favor buyers. Yes, sellers are forced to accept reality. The era of constant price increases is over. And it is not just Shanghai. Beijing, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen, China's economic engines, show similar signs. In Beijing, videos show 90% of shops in a major central commercial complex closed. A place once known for luxury shopping now stands silent. In Guangdong, export-dependent cities such as Dongguan face empty factories and quiet train stations. The global trade slowdown has struck these regions directly. Some argue that this is simply the result of e-commerce, that consumers have moved online, that foot traffic has shifted to suburban areas. But that explanation is not enough. If this were merely a shift in shopping habits, why are offices empty? Why are homes unsold? Why have rents dropped so steeply? Why do newly opened malls lose customers within months? The problem lies in declining aggregate demand. The population is shrinking. Consumer confidence is weakening. Income is unstable. When the future feels uncertain, people save instead of spend. Building more shopping malls does not create new buyers. It only divides a shrinking pie. And as the pie gets smaller, competition turns into a brutal spiral. The weakest exit first. The strongest hold on. But if the trend continues, no one is immune. What is most concerning is not just the numbers, but the psychology. Shanghai once represented aspiration, wealth, openness, integration, modernization. When this city slows down, it is not just a local story. It signals strain in the entire growth model. A city can grow quiet for a few months, but when silence stretches over years, when shops close in waves, when office vacancies reach double digits, when real estate loses liquidity, when foreign capital reverses course, this is no short-term fluctuation. It is a painful restructuring. The bigger question is not, where did Shanghai's people go? The real question is whether they still believe in a rapid recovery. When confidence declines, money stops circulating. When money stops circulating, the economy contracts. And when the economy contracts, the image of a glittering metropolis survives only in memory. Shanghai still has the tallest skyscrapers, the widest boulevards, the brightest LED screens. But brightness does not equal prosperity. A city can be illuminated and still feel cold. Decline does not arrive with an explosion. It arrives through absence. No customers in restaurants, no crowds in shopping malls, no employees in office towers, no buyers in the housing market, and gradually no confidence. Without fundamental changes in the economic structure, investment conditions, and market trust, the ghost city videos will not remain fleeting shocks on social media. They will become the new normal. Shanghai was once a symbol of rise. Today it is becoming a symbol of a turning point whose outcome will shape not only the future of one city, but of the world's second largest economy. Shanghai is not the only city in decline. Beijing, Shenzhen, and Guangzhou are experiencing the same visible slowdown as once bustling financial districts grow quieter, luxury malls lose their crowds, and landmark commercial streets struggle to maintain foot traffic. Office towers remain illuminated at night, but many floors sit half-empty, signaling weakening business activity. What once felt like unstoppable expansion now feels restrained and uncertain. The slowdown is no longer a temporary fluctuation. It is spreading across China's most important economic hubs. The symbols of prosperity are losing momentum. A broader structural strain is becoming impossible to ignore. Across major industrial zones, factories are shutting down when they're filing for bankruptcy as export orders decline and global demand weakens. Production lines that once ran day and night are slowing or stopping altogether. Small and medium-sized manufacturers are collapsing under debt pressure and shrinking margins. Some industrial parks that symbolize growth now face rising vacancy. Retail stores close one after another, leaving long rows of empty storefronts. For lease signs are appearing even in prime commercial areas. The contraction is moving through the real estate economy with increasing force. Unemployment is rising as graduates struggle to secure stable jobs and migrant workers return home without reliable income. Household earnings are shrinking while daily expenses remain high. Families are cutting spending to the bare essentials in order to cope with uncertainty. Restaurants, service providers, and small businesses feel the immediate drop in consumption. Consumer confidence continues to weaken. When people stop spending, businesses cannot sustain operations. The economic slowdown feeds on itself in a tightening cycle. Meanwhile, foreign capital is accelerating its withdrawal as multinational companies diversify supply chains away from China. Investment inflows that once powered rapid growth are reversing. Confidence in the business environment is deteriorating. The property market is under pressure with falling prices and declining liquidity. Office vacancy rates remain elevated in key districts. Financial stress is building simultaneously across sectors. China's economy now faces severe recessionary pressure and the growing risk of a large-scale crisis. Is the era of China's unstoppable prosperity coming to an end? And are we witnessing not just a slowdown, but the closing of a historic chapter that once defined global growth? The skyscrapers still stand, but confidence is fading beneath the glass and steel. Yeah, the narrative of endless expansion is colliding with shrinking demand and mounting debt. For decades, growth felt guaranteed, almost permanent. Now uncertainty replaces certainty. The question no longer sounds extreme, it sounds unavoidable. If confidence continues to erode, everything changes, because economies run on belief as much as numbers. When businesses stop investing and families stop spending, momentum disappears. When capital leaves and jobs vanish, pressure builds quietly but relentlessly. Hardship does not arrive overnight, but it advances step by step. Rising unemployment, falling income, tightening liquidity, these are early signals, not the end. If structural cracks are not repaired, deeper pain may follow, and what once looked like a temporary storm could become a defining crisis of a generation.